everybody, this is Diana from So Very Crafty, and we are here today to make this fantastic little bum bag, fanny pack, waist bag, whatever it is that you want to call this. It is a super simple little bag making project that anybody can make using basic sewing skills and the free pattern that comes with this video. I am going to link the pattern to the video so anybody can make this in no time flat. So what do we need in order to get started with this? Let me show you. The first thing that we need is the pattern, and this pattern is just what you see here, and you will notice that there are some lines here where it says fold. You are going to cut 2 outer pieces of fabric and 2 lining pieces of fabric on the fold so that when you fold it out, you will get that bum bag, fanny pack, waist bag pattern. It is simple to do. All you need are 2 fat quarters of fabric, or you can use remnants. Whatever small pieces of fabric that you have is all you need for this project. So what I have here is my exterior fabric. I placed it on the fold. As you can see here, and cut it out. And when you open it up, this is what you get, is that fanny pack bum bag look. I have 2 exterior pieces and I have 2 lining pieces for my bum bag. The next thing that you are going to need for this is a 9-inch zipper. I didn't have a 9-inch zipper, so I'm going to show you how to cut down this 22-inch zipper and make it a 9-inch zipper so that it works perfectly for our little project here. So if you are going to make this project yourself, I recommend a 9-inch zipper, but you can always cut down a larger zipper if you have one in your stash or stockpile. The next thing you're going to need is some strapping, and I just use some cotton strapping, size 1 inch, and I cut 2 pieces of 20 inches each. The next thing that you need is a parachute clip. And this parachute clip you can get at any sewing supply store like Joann's or Hobby Lobby. You can find them any place. You can get them on Amazon, wherever you shop for your sewing supplies. You should be able to find one of these parachute clips. The next thing that you're going to need for this project is interfacing. And I used Pellon 808 interfacing, and I cut 2 pieces of our pattern piece of interfacing that we are going to use on our exterior pieces of fabric to give it a little structure and a little support for our little bum bag. Last but not least, we are going to cut a 10-inch by 11-inch piece of our lining fabric for our pocket, because our bum bag needs to have a pocket where our zipper is. I also cut out a 10 by 11-inch piece of interfacing for this pocket piece, but I didn't have quite enough interfacing, so I had to piece it together, and I went ahead and fused it to our lining piece for you, because I did have to piece all those little pieces together to make it so it would fit. Now, once we have all of our pieces together, we can get started. The first thing that we need to do is fuse our interfacing to our exterior pieces. And interfacing has a shiny side and a matte side. You're going to take that shiny side and place it on the wrong side, or the ugly side, of your pattern piece. And once you do that, you're going to take it over to your iron, and you are simply going to press with your hot iron this interfacing so that the shiny side, which has glue, fuses into your fabric, and this becomes one piece of fabric that you can treat as one piece, and your sewing machine will go right through that, no problem at all. And you're going to do that with both of your exterior pieces. You're going to fuse that interfacing on the wrong side of your fabric pieces, shiny side down, and then come back, and we're going to show you the next step. So I'm just going to head over to my iron real quick and fuse this interfacing. Okay, so we have our two bum bag pieces, and now we need to do the most difficult part of this project, which is we are going to add the zipper. And it's not difficult at all. It may seem like it is, but it's really not. I'm going to show you step by step how to add the zipper to our bum bag. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to set aside one of our bum bag pieces, and we're going to leave the other one face up or right sides up on our work surface. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to place our pocket piece right sides together with our pocket piece and make sure that it's centered. And the best way to do that is to simply fold it in half, fold our bum bag piece in half so we can find the centers, and match the centers. And we're going to just pin right here at the top. Just a couple of pins, that's all we need for what we're going to do. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a ruler and we're going to measure down 1.5 inches. Very simple, but we're going to do it right in the center where we folded our fabrics. And we're just going to make a mark right here in the center and a little cross, so we know right where our center is. Next, we are going to draw a line that's 9 inches long. And the best way to do that is, we know that half of 9 inches is 4.5. So I'm just going to place my ruler on the 4.5 inch mark, and I'm going to draw 4.5 inches on one side and 4.5 inches on the other side, and then we will have a nice long line of 9 inches long. So we're just going to do that. We have a nice 9-inch long line. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to place a small line of 3/8 inch going down. And we're going to do that on both sides. Then we're going to join these 3/8 inch lines with our ruler so that we just have a large rectangle. As you can see, we have a large rectangle, and that's going to be the opening where we put our zipper for our bum bag. But in order to measure out our opening, we are going to draw another line that is right down the center and is 8 inches long. So I'm going to place my ruler on the 4-inch mark and just draw an 8-inch line right down the center. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some legs, just like a triangle, right here on the ends. So we have a line in the center and some little legs on each end. That's all we need to do for the drawing part of our zipper opening. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to the sewing machine and we are going to stitch all the way around this box. We don't have to worry about what's on the inside right now. All we are concerned about is the box on the outside, and we're just going to stitch all the way around the box, and then we're going to come back and go to our next step. Okay, now we have sewn our box all the way around, and now it's time to open up our opening. So the way we're going to do that is we're just simply going to fold this in half. We're going to take a small pair of scissors and we're going to cut along our center line. Then we are going to cut all the way along our center line using our scissors. You can use a large pair of scissors if you want. It's completely up to you. Once we get to the triangle, we are going to stop and cut the legs of the triangle, but make sure that you do not cut through that stitching. Otherwise you'll have a hole where your zipper is. So we're going to do that on all 4 of the legs. And cut this all the way down the center and cut our legs. Again, making sure that you do not cut through that stitching. Now, once we have finished that, we are going to take this pocket piece and we are going to stuff it through the hole that we've just created. We're going to stuff the bottom part and the top part. And what you're going to see is that an opening is created where our zipper is going to go. But what we're going to do is we are going to go over to the iron and we are going to make sure that these edges are nice and crisp. So I'm going to head over to the iron, make sure our edges are nice and crisp, and then we're going to head over to our next step, which is adding the zipper. Okay, now we have pressed our opening and we have a nice crisp opening for our zipper. Normally you would have a 9-inch zipper that would fit perfectly in this spot, but I didn't have a 9-inch zipper, so I need to shorten the zipper that I have to make it fit. So I am going to measure this. I'm actually going to cut it a little bit longer than the 9 inches that I need because I'm going to have to sew this all along here. And if you notice on a zipper, there are some little ears that go at the bottom and the top of the zipper. And so I need to make sure that I have those present or something so that my sewing machine has something to grab onto as it's sewing this zipper. So this is a nylon zipper, and all you have to do with a nylon zipper is cut it. Your scissors will just cut right through it like butter. But keep in mind, you do not want to use your fabric shears for this. Just a pair of utility scissors is all you need. So as you can see, I've laid out my zipper where I want it to be, and here's the end of my fabric. So I'm just going to snip here, and then I'm going to cut right through this zipper using my scissors, just like that, just like butter. And I don't need the other end of this zipper. Now keep in mind, we don't want to zip this down because you'll lose your zipper tab. So you could, if you wanted to, sew a little stop at the end, but there's no reason on this project because we are going to be stitching this zipper into place. So how are we going to do that? We're going to place this zipper right in the hole, the opening that we have created for this zipper. And as you can see, it fits snugly in there in our 3/8 inch opening, 3/8 inch wide opening. And we're just going to place a few pins along here to secure it. If you're a more experienced sewist, you probably don't need any pins at all. So I'm just going to place a few. You will place as many pins in this zipper as you find necessary. So you're going to pin the zipper just like this so that the teeth run right down the middle of the opening. Then you're going to go over to your sewing machine, use your zipper foot, and you're going to stitch all the way around this zipper. And that will stitch the zipper to the bum bag exactly where you want it. Once again, all you have to do is use your zipper foot, and I think every sewing machine comes with a zipper foot. It's just a foot that allows you to sew closely to the zipper teeth by moving your needle over to the left a little bit so that you can get close to the zipper without actually sewing on the zipper. So we're going to use our zipper foot, and we are going to stitch around this zipper, and we're going to come back and go to the next step. Okay, now our zipper is right where it should be. Opens and closes. Perfect. Now we need to finish off our pocket, and the way we're going to do that is we are going to fold it up. We're going to pin up here at the top, just a couple of pins, you don't need many. Make sure these raw edges are aligned. And then we are going to take our pen once again, and we are going to draw around our bottom of our pouch. We're going to head over to the sewing machine, and we are going to stitch along the top of our, strike that, we're going to leave this open. We are going to stitch along the bottom, inside 1/4 inch around where we marked our pouch. Again, that's 1/4 inch just inside this mark, so that when we come back, we're going to cut off this excess, and our pocket piece matches our exterior bag piece. So let's go to the sewing machine and take care of that. Okay, we have stitched 1/4 inch inside of our mark, and now we are going to cut off this excess part of our pocket piece. there we have it. We can take our pins out because this is stitched together. The next thing we're going to do is take our other exterior pocket piece, place it right sides together with the pocket piece that we just finished, or the bag piece that we just finished, and we are going to stitch using a 1/4 inch seam allowance just the bottom portion of our bag. We're going to leave the sides and the top open. So 1/4 inch seam allowance just on the bottom. So I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to take care of that, and we'll come back and do our next step. Okay, so now we have finished sewing the bottom of our bag, and we are going to turn this bag right sides out. And as you can see, by turning it right sides out, it is starting to look just like a bum bag. With our zipper in the middle, you can open up that zipper and see the pocket. And now we have to finish off the rest of the bag. We've already done the hard part, so let's do the easy part. Now we are going to take our lining pieces and we are going to place them right sides together, and we are going to stitch them just around the bottom the same way that we did the outside bag, but right on one of these sides we're going to leave an opening. And the reason that we're going to leave an opening is so that we can turn the bag and this lining will go inside the bag portion of the bag. Otherwise, we will not be able to turn the bag the correct way. So I am going to stitch around here. I'm going to leave a little bit of an opening right here, and I will be right back and show you how to turn this bag. Okay, so I have finished my lining, and as you can see, I have left an opening here. And what we're going to do is we are going to place this bag, this outer bag, inside the lining bag so that they are right sides together. Just like that. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to stitch these two bags just across the top on both sides. And there's still going to be an opening that we will close in a later step. But for now, we're just going to stitch the tops of these two bags just the way it is. And if you want, you can just stitch this pocket piece closed as well. That's fine, so that you have just this. So I'm going to head over to the sewing machine. I'm going to stitch across here, and I'm going to stitch across here, and we'll be right back. Okay, now you can see that the lining is attached to the top of the bag. And again, I've used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now this is where this opening comes into play. We are going to pull this outer bag through this opening, just like this. And you will see the lining part of the bag come out. And we're going to stick out our little tabs on both sides. Just like that. We are going to then stitch this closed. I'm just going to use my sewing machine because this is not going to be seen. It's actually going to be enclosed in the top of the bag. So we're going to sew this shut. We are going to push this lining inside the bag and press so that we have a nice clean edge. I'm going to go and take care of those things, and then I will be right back and we'll finish off this bag. Okay, so I've pressed the top of this bag, and now I'm going to clip the top so that the two sides are together. And you can use as many clips as you want. You can try to use pins on this, but there's a fair amount of bulk here, so pins may be difficult. It's completely up to you. I like the clips just because of the bulk. Now, we have our 1-inch strapping that we are going to add to this bag. What we need to do is we can head over to the sewing machine and stitch right across the top of this. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to top stitch this with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. So that we have room to put our strapping into this bag. So let me do that and come back and show you how we're going to add the strapping to our bum bag. Okay, now we have finished stitching on top. We are going to fold in our little tabs here so that we have no raw edges. And then we are going to place inside these tabs our 1-inch strapping. And I will do that, and because it's a little fidgety, I'm not going to do it on camera. I will do that and come back and we will finish off this video. Okay, so we have added our strapping to our bag, and now all we have to do is add our parachute clip. We're going to just take it apart like that, thread it through, fold it under twice, and stitch across. We're going to do the same thing to the other end. Fold it under twice so that we have no raw edges, and we're going to stitch it closed. And the reason we're just going to leave this hanging is so that it's adjustable, and you can make this waist bag as big or as small as you like. So there you have it. We have finished this bag. This one's blue, and we have our green bag They're identical, except for the colors. And this is a simple sewing project. It can be done in no time at all. So if you like this project, I ask that you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and absolutely try and make this bag. It's a little flat bum bag. You can fit your phone, little ID, and some money, and you are off to the races with this little bag. It's not cumbersome. It's very neat and tidy. So again, just give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed this project. Thanks, everybody. Bye.